What's going on, guys? This is Connor with another weekly RDT fishing report. Today is the second week of October, and we just got through our first cold front of the year, first cold front for this fall. That cold front dropped the water temperature a little bit this week. It got the water temp down to the mid-70s for most of the lake. You can find some cooler water in the mornings and evenings in the creeks and stuff, but main channel's been hanging around mid-70s. This week has been a little tough. That cold front kind of knocked him in the head a little bit. I felt like there was not much chasing activity going on, not much schooling. It seemed like those fish kind of hunkered down in the grass with that low pressure system coming in. The weights this week were okay. There was a pretty big tournament here out of Dayton on Saturday, and it took 20 pounds to win, and the top 10 weights weren't that bad. It took about 14 to 15 pounds to hang in the top 10, which is pretty on track for the fall in Lake Chickamauga. Did not see a big bag, which is a little bit surprising. Usually someone can mess up and catch a few big ones. But overall, the weights were decent and pretty much on track, like I said, for the fall in Chickamauga. That tournament was dominated in the grass. That's how most people caught them. That's a much more consistent bite when with changing conditions like we had. So if you're coming up here and going fishing, definitely focus in the grass. That seemed like the best way to locate fish and get bit. The grass mats are starting to deteriorate a little bit. I saw several grass mats that last week and the week before were topped out. You could throw a frog or whatever on top of them. Are now starting to break up and kind of get scattered, and that's just because of the current getting pulled and the lake dropping. The lake is still hanging around 2.5 to 2 foot down. They've kept it there for the past 2.5 weeks. I would definitely look for the water to drop a little bit more in the weeks coming. They're going to have the water down usually sometime by the middle of October to the end of October. So look for that water to drop pretty quick. With that being said, the fish are still going to be moved around. The water on top of those bars is going to get thin, and a lot of those fish are just going to get pushed off the bars and into some of those creeks and stuff. So if I was going fishing on Chickamauga this week, I would definitely be focusing in the grass around the mid-lake area. That seems to be the best concentration of grass and where it's growing the best. 3 rods that I would 100% have tied on the front deck this week would be a chatterbait. I know I talked about that last week. It's my confidence bait, but it's something that you can cover a lot of water with, some sort of bladed jig. I like a shad pattern. I like that spot remover, that Z-Man jackhammer in the spot remover color. That's always one of my favorites in the fall. And my all-time favorite trailer to pair that with is a Hog Farmer Spunk Shad. That's the Disco Shad, that color right there, in the 4.5 inch, and it matches really well with that spot remover color. Another bait that we've seen catch on this week is a speed worm or some sort of swimming worm. It's a great option to throw in that grass that's starting to die off and become scattered. It's something that you can as well cover water with. But it's a little slower presentation, and when the fish are being pretty picky, that's a great option to get some of those bites. And another way, when it seems like everything goes wrong, you can always go punching and get some bites. The stuff that's matted up on the main channel seems to have been the best, seems to be the best way to get bites punching. You do have to cover some water. The fish move around kind of day by day. It seems like you can get bit here one day and maybe not there the next. So the name of the game for punching is just cover water, lock it in your hand, and just go. Seems like the fish are grouped up. Like if you're going to get bit in a mat, you can usually get a few bites out of it, but you may go 20 or 30 minutes without getting a bite. So just staying confident in it and rolling is the best way I've found to do it. 1.25 ounces to 1.5 ounces is the weight that you're going to need to have. A lot of the mats on the main river, like I said, are pretty packed in, so they're harder to get through. So you do need that heavier weight to be efficient. You can get through some of the mats with a lighter weight, but you're having to sit there and shake it to get it through. And in my opinion, if you're not getting through the mat the first try, you're wasting time. Being able to get the bait in and get it out and move on is the best way that I found to do it. So 1.5 ounces is usually my go-to weight. My favorite bait to punch in the fall is a D-bomb, missile bait. It's a D-bomb. Seems like it's a great bait. It can hold a hook, a decent size hook. I use a 4/0 flipping hook, and it holds that hook really well. And those ribs catch water and move water well. And it doesn't have too much action. It's a little bit more subtle, and it's just a great bait. It gets a lot of bites. I like a green pumpkin blue. Copper chopper is another good color. It's a green pumpkin with a little blue and purple haze to it. Those are great baits to use. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to stop in the shop, and we'd love to talk fishing with you guys, and hope you can go out there and take some of the stuff from this video and get bites. Thanks.